What happens when a seemingly ordinary neighbor conceals a sinister double life? Michael Gargiulo, infamously known as the Hollywood Ripper, shocked the nation with his chilling ability to live as a trusted member of his community while brutally taking the lives of young women. Between 1993 and 2008, Gargiulo preyed on unsuspecting victims with terrifying precision, earning his reputation as one of America's most calculated serial killers. In this video, we'll uncover the horrifying details of Gargiulo's double life, explore what drove him to commit such heinous acts, and reveal the forensic breakthroughs that finally put an end to his reign of terror. Stick around as we uncover one of the most shocking crime stories of the modern era. Michael Gargiulo was born in 1976 in Glenview, Illinois, a quiet suburb of Chicago. To his neighbors and peers, he appeared to be an average boy with a typical upbringing. However, there were early signs of the darkness that would later consume him. Gargiulo was described by those who knew him as aggressive and controlling, with a disturbing fascination with women and an obsession with maintaining power over others. As he entered his teenage years, he became more isolated and unpredictable. These tendencies, combined with a manipulative charm, created the perfect cover for his future crimes. Gargiulo's first known murder occurred in 1993 when he was just 17 years old. His victim, Trisha Pacaccio, was an 18-year-old high school graduate with a bright future ahead. Trisha was returning home from a night out with friends when she was ambushed on her doorstep. Gargiulo stabbed her multiple times in a brutal attack that left her father to discover her body the next morning. Trisha's murder devastated her family and the community, but despite early suspicions about Gargiulo, the case quickly went cold. At the time, forensic technology was not advanced enough to link him to the crime, allowing him to evade justice and emboldening him to continue his deadly spree. In the late 1990s, Gargiulo relocated to Los Angeles, hoping to start anew. Posing as a friendly handyman and neighbor, he ingratiated himself into his community while quietly stalking potential victims. His next known attack occurred on February 21st, 2001, when he targeted 22-year-old Ashley Ellerin. Ashley was a fashion student, an aspiring model with a vibrant social life. And on the night of her murder, she was preparing for a date with actor Ashton Kutcher. Gargiulo entered her Hollywood Hills home and stabbed her 47 times in a frenzied attack so violent that blood spattered throughout the room. Ashton, who arrived at her home shortly after the murder, testified that he assumed the red stains on the carpet were wine, not realizing the horror that had just unfolded. This crime left investigators baffled, as Gargiulo left no clear evidence behind and remained undetected. 4 years later, in December 2005, Gargiulo struck again. His victim, 32-year-old Maria Bruno, was a mother of 4 and a recent resident of an El Monte, California, apartment complex. Gargiulo, who lived in the same building, meticulously planned his attack, entering her apartment while she slept. Maria was stabbed repeatedly in a manner so brutal that her injuries shocked investigators that thought they had already seen it all. Gargiulo displayed an unsettling level of control and knowledge of anatomy, which suggested he derived pleasure from inflicting pain. Forensic experts noted the precision of his attacks, which reflected his sadistic tendencies and calculated nature. In 2008, Gargiulo attempted to kill 26-year-old Michelle Murphy in her Santa Monica apartment. However, Michelle's extraordinary courage saved her life. As Gargiulo attacked her, she fought back fiercely, forcing him to flee the scene. This act of survival provided investigators with the breakthrough they needed. Gargiulo left behind his DNA during the struggle, which was matched to evidence from previous crime scenes. It was the first solid link connecting him to the murders. This moment also marked a turning point in the investigation as detectives began to piece together his deadly pattern. Are you finding this story interesting? If so, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. The DNA evidence against Gargiulo was overwhelming. Investigators matched his genetic profile to samples from the scenes of Ashley Ellerin's and Maria Bruno's murders. Additional forensic analysis revealed fibers and shoe prints that further tied him to the crimes. His arrest in 2008 sent shockwaves through Los Angeles as neighbors and acquaintances struggled to reconcile the image of the polite, helpful handyman with the horrifying reality of his crimes. Gargiulo's calculated methods, such as stalking his victims for weeks or even months before attacking, highlighted the meticulous planning behind his murders. Gargiulo's trial began in 2019 and became one of the most publicized cases in recent memory. Dubbed the Hollywood Ripper by the media, Gargiulo's chilling nickname captured the fear he had instilled in the community. Prosecutors presented graphic evidence, including photographs, DNA findings, and testimony from Michelle Murphy, whose bravery had saved her life. Gargiulo, meanwhile, showed little emotion throughout the proceedings, maintaining his innocence and blaming his crimes on mental illness. Forensic psychologists described him as a predator who derived satisfaction from controlling and terrorizing his victims, traits consistent with psychopathy. The jury was unconvinced by his defense, and in 2019, Gargiulo was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He was sentenced to death in California, though his execution remains uncertain due to the state's moratorium on capital punishment. The case of Michael Gargiulo serves as a haunting reminder that predators can hide in plain sight. His ability to blend into his community while committing such heinous acts raises questions about how we can better identify and prevent such individuals from wreaking havoc. Gargiulo's story is not just one of terror, but also one of resilience, as the bravery of survivors like Michelle Murphy and the dedication of law enforcement ultimately brought him to justice. How do you think someone like Gargiulo was able to evade capture for so long? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more chilling true crime stories.